Truth Seeker and or its affiliates are not responsible for any strange phenomena that may occur during or after listening to this podcast, which may include the following: heightened senses of awareness, psychic abilities, UFO sightings, alien contact, time loss, out-of-body experiences, ringing in the ears, ESP, lucid dreaming, increased synchronicities, astral projection, telepathy, stronger intuition, levitation, miraculous healings, and or remote viewing. Please be advised to listen at your own discretion.
Won't you come and take me away? I just wanna be with you. Won't you come and take me away? To a place to walk on troubled seas, faith to stand when I don't believe. I just wanna be with you.
Drink change. You ever watch that shit?
Come and take me away. I just wanna be with you. Won't you come?
You are now locked into the Truth Seeker podcast.
Gargoyles, psychics, everything's ungodly. Dark savage.
Streaming live at truthseeker.com.
She's not a Christian.
Give it up, y'all.
Your portal to the paranormal, esoteric, and all things spiritual.
She's tampering in dark savage stuff.
And now, your host, Truth Seeker.
Yo, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? I'm your host, Truth Seeker. This is the Truth Seeker podcast. Got an awesome show for you guys. February is here. We got a bunch of stuff happening, a bunch of stuff planned. I just was interviewed by Carrie Cassidy from Project Camelot. That was a big deal. Did another interview with Jordan Maxwell. That was awesome. Another one with James Gilliland. So if you haven't heard those shows, make sure you make your way back to the archives and check out some of that stuff. Beautiful stuff. I got to say a quick shout out before we get started with today's show to everybody supporting my work on Patreon. I'm able to do this full time. I'm able to make income off of this and continue to make music and make podcasts and all of this fun stuff that I do and bring this stuff to the table because of your support, man. It means the world to me. Got to give a shout out to this month's supporters, the people like within the last week or so. Let me get these names here. We got Jacob King, Monica Bendavez, Hunter Bowles, Tim Boggs, Zandra Trulio, Andrew Waldowski. Thank you guys for supporting my work, that you guys spend your hard-earned money supporting me and contributing to what I'm doing. And it just lets me know that you guys are getting you guys are finding the content valuable, man. And it enables me to continue to do it. And if you support, you get access to my entire discography. That's 10 plus albums. You also get access to the new music that I put out. Every time I do a song, as soon as it's mixed and mastered, I upload it to Patreon. So there's a bunch of new music there. I'm working on my next album entitled Seer. And if you guys are supporting on Patreon, you already have been listening to that music because it's there. So thank you guys for supporting. You also get access to the School of the Mystics. Is something we're doing every Thursday night. I wasn't able to make this Thursday, but every Thursday night we're going to be doing the School of the Mystics, and essentially it's the community that we're building here where people who are have like-minded belief systems and they're looking for a community to kind of discuss some of the stuff, get into some prayer, meditation, all of that good stuff, man. Starting community. So the stuff we talk about in our music, we're going to practice it. Practice what we preach and do it openly. So you get access to that even for $1 a month, $5, whatever you can do, you get access to that stuff. So patreon.com/truthseeker. So thank you guys for supporting. I want to address something really fast. I had a message from a new supporter, somebody who's been listening to the podcast and listening to the music and things like that. This is a lady named Alyssa J. And so she left a comment on YouTube, and she's basically feels left out because I will give shout outs to people who are supporting financially. You guys are spending your hard-earned money to support what I'm doing. It means the world to me. I mention you guys by name. The names are streaming at the bottom of the page and things like that, and she says, well, you know, there's ads on the video and I'm watching, so I'm supporting you by watching your video here. And so she was like kind of feeling left out that I didn't give her a shout out. So shout out to Alyssa J and everybody who's checking out the music, everybody who's sharing the videos, watching the podcast. I do get a little bit of revenue from ads and things like that, so thank you guys for that. You guys are important too. Everybody's important, so I couldn't do it without any of you. But I will say, she said she's a single mother and she's not able to support. So there's a lot of people out there who aren't financially able to support, whether you don't have a job, or even if you do have a job, sometimes struggling with these bills and trying to balance all of this stuff is a full-time job in itself, man. So thank you guys from the bottom of my heart, everybody, even if you aren't able to give. You guys mean the world to me. We're all on the same team. We're part of the family. So thank you guys for that. Today's guest, Rasul Allah from the Lost Children of Babylon. Rasul, what's going on, my brother? Welcome to the show.
What's going on? What's up, y'all out there? My man, Truth Seeker, LCOB supporter, LCOB soldier, and here we are, straight out of Alabama.
Heck yeah! I mean?
I gotta get out there. I've never been to Alabama.
We're
before.
Not too far away, man.
No. I gotta come out there. Y'all gotta take me out to the mountains, and the mountains go hike.
Heck yeah, man!
Meditating in the forest, man.
Yeah,
with nature.
That's what we'll do, man. We'll make it happen. I did get the chance to meet you a couple years ago in person. We've been working together for a while. I did make it out there with my family and came to the skate park that you guys had at the Underground or whatever. It was at the Underground in Atlanta, and you can't really say.
No. That was the Underground. It was the Phipps Plaza Mall, right across the street from there's another mall across the street called the Lenox Mall, and across the street we had the skate park under the Phipps Plaza Mall.
Yeah.
And, I didn't pay for it. That was the company at the time. KO spent $135,000 to actually build that place. So
yeah, finally had the chance to meet you there. Like I said, we've been working together for a while. And I want to. We did an interview years ago when I first started doing this stuff, and the quality was bad, things like that. We've come a long way. So we had to do it again. A lot of people, when I mentioned LCOB, when I first started doing this music, like it was kind of like my stamp of approval in this spiritual, esoteric, hip hop realm. And I mentioned LCOB. Oh, you ride with them? Yeah. Give credit, give shout outs, things like that. Now there's a lot of people who have found my music and they listen to the podcast. They have no idea who LCOB is. So I'm kind of branching out. I say, look, I always give credit to LCOB. I'm part of the movement. When I was going through my spiritual awakening, and essentially what this show is about me dealing with my spiritual awakening, not having anybody to talk to. So we bring guests on, and I'm here. I make myself available for people having crazy experiences, stuff like that. They got somebody to talk to. When I didn't have nobody to talk to, I was watching documentaries, having UFO encounters and things like that. I was essentially going crazy, man. And I'm a Christian. I'm in the church. Having these encounters, listening to the Lost Children of Babylon. I found you guys' work when I was having these encounters. You're talking about the stuff that I was going through. You're talking about the UFOs and the meditation and the Kundalini and all of this stuff, and I'm experiencing it in the backwoods of Alabama, dealing with these churches. And at the time, I was a Christian evangelist, right? Found the Lost Children of Babylon, found the work of David Wilcock, Jordan Maxwell, and linked in with you guys, and here's me, this young white guy who sounds like Paul Wall from Alabama.
I always say that.
I know. That's why I say that.
I would listen to your stuff, and I say, this guy right here, he's not talking about what those guys are saying, but you sound like those guys, but you have a real profound message behind what you're saying. I mean, if somebody would have, like, one of these record labels would have seen that, he'd probably be to the moon right now, or just on like a more of an alternative level. Yeah, that's. I've always thought that from listening to your stuff, that like this guy is on it. It kind of sounds trap, like a little trap style and down south style, but the message behind it was really powerful.
That's what set me apart with you.
If Paul Wall would have heard your stuff, he'd be calling you up, dog.
Wow.
He'd probably call you up.
Dealing with LCOB, East Coast hip hop, North Coast stuff, it's you guys been on knowledge stuff for years, right? This is part of that stuff, but from like the dirty South and down South, it's always been about drugs. It's been about trapping. It's been about hoes and things like that. It's never been conscious from the South. So that's what made me kind of stand out when I started running with you guys, was the fact that I have my style, my slang. I still, you know, you guys were listening to dudes I have never heard of. I come up listening to Master P, UGK. You know what I'm saying? And you guys are naming. And I'm kind of ashamed to say that, you know, you guys there's like legends out there that I didn't listen to Rakim. You know what I'm saying? I know these guys are legends and stuff, but coming to the world with you guys doing this hip hop, it brought a new element, man. And your fans embraced it, dude. So thank you for picking me up early on and seeing potential in somebody like me as well, man. Yeah, no doubt, man. I mean, you know, my whole thing is to just kind of connect like-minded people.
And because we never really had like a manager or, you know, booking agent, I was able to, you know, use the internet to connect with the fans because they never really seen us before. You know what I'm saying? So because we couldn't, you know, we didn't have that booking agent, we didn't have a, you know, real manager to, you know, to help out with that kind of stuff. I just used the internet, at that time, MySpace, and Facebook and everything. And that's where, you know, those places is where the fans started to really reach out and, you know, talk to me and really connect to me. So, you know, what I did was I said, you know what, maybe I should, you know, let's extend, you know, our hand out to these people who are supporting us. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, we created multiple chapters, you know, LCOB Germany, LCOB, we had LCOB Africa at one time. We had LCOB Egypt with my main man Spinks out
Italy,
there. You remember those guys?
Yeah.
Arabian. We had them. We had LCOB Switzerland, and I mean, we just a bunch of people. We also had at one time LCOB. I think it was some guy Beirut at one time. I was talking to this guy on Facebook, not Facebook. MySpace, that was a long time ago, but you know, he was from Beirut, man, and we were connecting with so many different people, and man, I really wish we could have got the tour around that time. We were probably really connected with a lot of our fans. So the whole thing is just to make a global diaspora of like-minded people who want to hear this kind of music. I mean, there's a time and place for everything. Yeah. But you got to balance out, you know, the music sometime. Like, you know, if I always say, I'm like, you don't want to put the Lost Children on in the club. Nah, you don't put that in the club. You put the fucking UG Clay shit on the club. Then if you want to go a little deeper, you know what I'm saying? Then you could put the Lost Children of Babylon on, you know. But Lost Children of Babylon is kind of like the music, and your music too. It's like, you know, it's one of those kind of things where, you know, you kind of just want to sit down and listen to it.
Or if you meditate to it.
If you're a jogger, you know, if you're jogging or you're riding your bike, or if you're on a road trip with your family and so you pop that in, there's something different to listen to. You know what I mean? For young people and older people, you know what I'm saying? And you take something from it, and the whole thing is the spark people's minds and to get the spark of conversation. You say, yo, you hear what he just said? You know what I'm saying? So, you know, those kinds of things. And that's what I've always liked about hip hop music. Music in general, not just hip hop, but just raw, dope lyrics. You know what I'm saying? I've always loved lyrics, man. I still listen to everybody. I listen to everybody, but I people that really go. I like to listen to people go real deep. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So, and this guy right here, you know.
Especially if you're studying that stuff and then you're listening to music that's talking about the stuff you're studying. There's all types of people when this stuff is brand new and you find music. Man, there was times, dude, that I was listening to y'all stuff and didn't really understand everything. Right. And then I'm reading Secret Teachings by Manly P. Hall. Yeah. And I read like, damn, this is what they're talking about, and then it clicks. All the lyrics and everything click in the song, and I'm reading Manly P. Hall break down what you guys are putting in the lyrics, and I'm like, oh my God, it's this beautiful connection that happens, man. And as far as music is concerned, I know it doesn't really, it's not good for mainstream or like being poppy and successful to have stuff stuck in your head all the time, but to create the whole creative aspect for me, I'm a huge Bone Thugs and Harmony fan. Their rhyming schemes are different, and I don't know if there's a Bone Thug song that I can repeat all the way through to this day. Same with the LCOB stuff. I don't know. Yeah. I know a lot of y'all stuff, bro, but it's probably still not a song that I can start and hit everybody's verse and remember everything. And it's just this beautiful concoction, man. And that's why I fell in love with it. I can listen to it 70 times and it won't get old. I'm listening to it today, and I was like, man, it's beautiful stuff, man. It's an art form all on its own.
Thank you. And man, I think when you talk about commercial success, right, and the whole mainstream poppy thing, I do believe that I've always said this. I do believe, and I would say this to any executive that's out there if I got a chance to talk to them, somebody like Jay-Z or any of those guys. I would sit down with those guys and kind of show the blueprint on how to actually promote this kind of stuff. Like, for instance, we did the Star Wars video. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It was getting before the fucking
all the movies came out. Yeah.
Before the page came down, that video is getting a lot of play. You know what I'm saying? It was actually almost 3,000 views. And it by now it would have been 10,000 views by now.
Way more. It'd have been way more.
Probably way more than that by now. But again, those kinds of themes, right? And adding them in the video for what we're talking about, that's how you would market a group like that. You know what I'm saying? And I've always said it. And still to this day, nobody has really done it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I haven't seen it done.
Somebody referred to my music one time, a long time ago. They said I was a fan. It's like, I love your music. I love fantasy hip hop. This is what they called it, right? Mm-hmm. Obviously, I mean, we wouldn't get offended. We're definitely kind of diving into the fantasy genre a little bit. Mm-hmm. But when you look at movies and you look at the books and Avatar: The Last Airbender, we would call that kind of stuff fantasy. But all that stuff is from the ancient world as well. There's nothing new. They're taking spiritual principles and creating stories out of it. You know what I'm saying? All these movies coming out, everything.
Exactly.
All the Marvel stuff too, man.
Man, they got Black Panther coming out, and I was talking to somebody the other day, and I was telling them that Jack Kirby, Jack Kirby's Stan Lee's partner, one of his illustrators, he came up with the concept for Black Panther. But what's cool about that, he's a Caucasian guy, he's a white guy, and I've always thought that was phenomenal. And to see the actual movie. I didn't see it yet, but to see it actually come out, man, because I'm not going to lie, like 5 years ago, we were talking about this, me and a couple of the brothers from the tribe. And, those guys, I mean, I'm into the lore too, but those guys, they really into the lore. And we would just build on it for like hours and hours on it. And it's a dream come true to actually see that film, you know what I'm saying, make it to the big screen. So, again, I mean, it goes back to themes, and if you look at like the so-called gangster rap or whatever you want to call the shit, they use themes too. You feel me? It may be negative themes that may not be appropriate. People will say, I don't want to use that, but they are themes. So we got to add these particular themes into the music that we make. It hasn't been a group like us ever kind of signed. A couple of guys in the 90s tried to come out. You know what I'm saying? Jedi Mind Tricks, they put out one, but then they changed it along the way as they went on. But it still hasn't. I still haven't seen nothing on the level of dealing with metaphysics or spirituality blended in with the street style like what we do. Is just nowhere to be found in the industry. Now they got Jay Electronica. Now I thought that was an awesome thing. Jay Electronica. Being signed to Rock Nation, and Jay-Z actually signing him with the kind of content that he's dealing with. I thought that was a phenomenal thing, and that's just opening the doors for people like ourselves. But we're yet to hear an album. So I think that it's going to really take somebody to really, really, really blow up. I don't know how it's going to happen. I mean, Jay Electronica blew up, but where's the album? You know what I'm saying? So
there's some movements out there, man. Have you heard of the Underachievers?
Yeah. I heard. I actually met the one kid out in L.A. But see, listen, this is the thing, and I'm not trying. I don't want to put anybody down.
Okay.
They're achievers, right? Listening to what they're doing, it still doesn't have.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I'm the same way, man.
It don't have. It's something that for what, you know what I'm saying. To give it that title, they don't have. But they're good at what they're doing now.
It's got a following, man. Yeah,
yeah. But underachievers is big, man. They're large. Yeah. They're larger than life. They don't even need a record deal.
I don't want to sound like a hater as well, but I'll put it out there, and I talk about this. People say, I love True Seeker's music. I love the underachievers, and they compare me with those guys. And I'm like you. It's not the same thing. Like I appreciate what they're doing. I tried to listen to their stuff. They talk about metaphysics, and then they talk about having sex with hoes after the concerts in the same song. Yeah. And like if we're getting into the mysteries, we're getting into ancient philosophies and stuff. I don't want to listen to that. Like and then there's so much like profanity and stuff in there. And then talk about slaying groupies. They talk about sleeping all these groupies and stuff. And then they talk about opening my third eye and DMT. And I'm like, oh wow, hold on. And they're like, I love you, True Seeker, and I love the underachievers. And I want to make the distinction that that's not what I'm about. Like you're not going to hear that stuff in my music. I've yet to even curse in my music at all yet, you know?
Yeah. Well, you know, it's funny is because I met the underachievers and, I didn't meet them. I met the one brother.
Yeah. Issa Gold?
Yeah. Issa. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's who I met. I met him through my homeboy, Anamas and my homeboy, Chuck Strangers. You ever heard of him?
Yeah.
Chuck Strangers. He's from Brooklyn. He rolls with the Pro Era crew, and I met him through there. And I mean, you know, this is the thing. There's a certain amount of like skill that comes with, you know, certain things. You know, and I'm 40 years old. I come from a different era than the underachievers do. You know what I mean? So. And the underachievers doing the trappy kind of a style.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna lie, I never really sat down and totally listened to them.
Yeah.
Like listen to Issa's music like that. I already knew he was blew up. I didn't even know who the fuck he was when he came through the door, and they had to kind of like educate me on him. And then when I checked, I was like, oh, okay, these motherfuckers are like 2 million views.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Okay, they're large. So Still, the music didn't hit me like how Cannabis lyrics hit
Killer
you,
Priest,
or Killer Priest's lyrics hit you, or like, you know, the new guy Jay Electronica. They're hitting you with themes.
Yeah,
and listening to those guys, they give you a bunch of great themes, spiritually speaking, but it's just kind of like it's all over the place. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think it could probably.
That I'm not all over the place with my stuff. You know what I'm saying? But I just think that you know, they'll talk about, like you're saying, they'll talk about some things, and then they'll talk about slaying some hoes. I'm not gonna say that. You know what I'm saying? I might say I'll rip your head off like Sub-Zero.
Yeah.
And I'd meditate to a different galaxy or some shit like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So but much respect to my young boy Issa, that's my brother from Brooklyn. Much respect to the Pro Era crew, because I think that they're kind of in that vein.
They're opening it up for us for like an audience that we can't reach. Like the people who are just getting into the party scene or the drug scene. We can say that. People are into the, you know,
I wouldn't put on, listen, I wouldn't put on the Lost Children in the club, but I could put on the underachievers in there.
You're right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
So I think there's a balancement between there. And you know what's funny is this, I think that Issa, those two brothers, they don't even have to say anything about slaying the hoes. They can say some old wild shit and still have their. It's really the beat. It's really the production.
Yeah,
it's the production. It's the beat, and the kids they just go crazy over the trap shit.
Yeah,
including myself. I like that shit too.
Yeah. No,
so it's hard, man. The trap shit is like, you know, some of that stuff sounds like some outer space music.
Yeah,
some of it. You know what I'm saying? I equate it to that kind of that. It's just the lyrics that's put on these tracks.
And there's, you know, there's a big difference too. Like, people can listen to my music, people can listen to LCOB and mimic it. Okay, let me take, he's talking about this, he's talking about that. Oh, I can rhyme Kundalini, I can rhyme third eye vibration, I can do that. But there's a difference when you've actually studied and you actually went into these books that nobody's even heard of, and dealing with teachers, and like there's a lot of years of research and supplication and things that and being affiliated with Masonic orders and stuff that you are. Give a little bit of background, man, because like you're the real deal, man. Like you know what I'm saying? You're in to some different ancient orders. You lived at what was it? Tamaray. Did you actually live at Tamaray?
No, I never lived on the land on Egypt of the West. I never lived on the land. I was just a part of the organization. You know, I would come down from Philadelphia with a couple of brothers from down in Philadelphia. We would attend the Zed Festival, as we call it. The Zed Festival is a ceremony that that they performed in Egypt at the Temple of Karnak. If I'm correct, I may be correct. You can look that up. You guys can look that up. But the Zed Festival was one of the festivals that they did, and we would do. Ours wasn't just like there. Like that's thousands and thousands of years ago, but we would we re-erected that festival, and I would go down there in June or whatever, and there's various other things.
I mean, there's a lot of people who don't even know what that is. Talk a little bit about it, because there was an actual like pyramid there right outside of Atlanta that was built, right?
With in Edenton, Georgia, in Putnam County, we erected a whole Egyptian village. And the master teacher, Dr. Malachi Z. York, partner Bab Yanoon, as he wants to call himself, he had a brilliant idea to bring all the spiritual schools together to be able to sit on the land and be able to discuss these things. You know, that's why he took on multiple, you know, characterizations as far as like, you know, one day you see him as an imam, then a Muslim imam, and then the next day you might see him as a pastor. You know, to the average layman or to the average person, they say, "What the hell is it? What the fuck, man? How the fuck is you an imam and then you turn around pastor? And now you're Egyptian?" But I think the theme behind what he was trying to do is that you have to understand the concept of the all. I'm pretty sure you read the Kabbalion, and that's one of the key principal things that Wunuwap layers itself under, is that I am one with the all. I am a part of the all. You can't take anything from me because we're all part of it. And that principle was the foundation of really Wunuwap. Now, how do you say when you apply this? I'm only saying that because when you see the master, you see Doc walking around, he can take on multiple things, because that's what it was. We're all of those things. Yeah. And he created the land as a place of refuge, so we can go there as a Muslim, Christian, Jew, Egyptologist, UFOologist,
shamans, Native Americans,
Native American, whatever you are, you can come to the land of Tamaray, and we can sit down, build, discuss things, talk to the master teacher, come up with new things, new ideas. You understand what I'm saying? And all of that's what that was there for. And you know, they didn't like that. They didn't like that.
Definitely, man. That thing was growing.
You know, it was really growing. You would have been over there eventually. You would have made your way there. You would eventually made your way there. Yeah. But not so. But my schooling doesn't just stop there. I was born and raised a Muslim, and I was also initiated at 16 into the Sufi order of the Bal Muhayyadeen Sufi order, and that's Sheikh Muhammad Rahim Bal Muhayyadeen from Sri Lanka, and he was a Sufi saint that came to Philadelphia, and I was initiated into that. I was also affiliated with the Rosicrucian order, the very first one, not the one in California, but the one in Pennsylvania in Bucks County right now, by a man by the name of Pascal Beverly Randolph. I don't know if you know who he is.
Not by name, but I do know who the Rosicrucians are. It's a very beautiful order that teaches you about spirituality.
There's two of them. There's one in San Jose, I think. San Jose, California, and then there's one in Pennsylvania. And that's the oldest one is in Pennsylvania. So also was affiliated with that. Also was affiliated with the Moore Science Temple at one time, studying that. And I mean, I walked the path, man. You know what I mean?
People here, you know what I'm saying, Masonic orders are being inducted into a secret order. Mm-hmm. There's so much Illuminati stuff. It's satanic and devil worship and stuff. Talk a little bit about that, because I know you're affiliated with some as well.
Right. Well, the people have to understand there's been a big misconception of the Masonic order. For one thing, it's not just the order; it's a fraternity, and anybody can be a Freemason. You know, women can be Freemasons too. A lot of people don't know that. The Queen of England, she's one of the highest ranking Freemasons, just to let you know. And basically, the Freemasonic order is developed and to make you a better human being and to create a bond far beyond our physical dealing with the spiritual connection with us as men. So they tell you to make men great. Yeah. But how do you make a man great? You need to learn from a student. So what we do is we learn off each other and deal with that brotherly love. A lot of people that's in the Masonic orders are from all walks of religion. You don't have to be a Christian, a Jew, this, that, and the third to be a Freemason. That's a misconception. And the reason why the Masonic order has a lot of like bad flack on it is because of the Euro Masons coming over here and creating subdivisions within the order, like the Skull and Bones, the Illuminati that was created by Adam Weishaupt. And Freemason was already in existence. But as Adam Weishaupt came along and he wanted to create the illuminated order. The word Illuminati just means they illuminated. You know, you reach the highest, right, degree. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You become illuminated. Okay, has nothing to do with Satanism. Now, if people say, well, yeah, it does, Rasul, they pull up all this stuff. Like, yeah, because a lot of there's good Masons and then there are bad Masons, and there's a lot of those Euro Masons from Europe they were ones into studying black magic and Valdoon and getting into the Luciferian studies of different things like that, and they conjunct all of that stuff into the Masonic order. What you have to understand is that the Masonic order only has 3 degrees. Yeah. Everything after that is all honorary. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So there's really no 33rd and 3rd because the highest number is
branch really off to do that.
Right. So if you have 3, right, and then you have what? After you go up the so-called Jacob's ladder, right? They tell you got to be 33 and a 3rd, but really 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again, 7, 8, 9. Because the original degrees were really 9 degrees in ancient Egypt. You understand what I'm saying? The highest number is 9. And then it starts over again at the continuing cycle. You follow? So the old doctrine only consists of 3 degrees. And then when the Masons split, they created the Yorkshire and the Scottish Rite. And if you notice that the York Rite and the Scottish Rite they're very different from each other. The same, but the lessons are a little different than each other. So Masonry is not bad. It's just that bad people gave it a bad look. You understand what I'm saying? They gave it so the outside is like, oh, they worship the devil. You know what I'm saying? Really, the Masons believe in God. You know what I'm saying? And the core, the central principle of Masonry, they believe in the grand architect of the universe. That's what that G in the middle of the compass and square. It could mean God, it could be Guma Az-Dabar, or it could mean geometry, or the grand architect of the universe. And when you start talking about the grand architect of the universe, right, you're going beyond this earth plane. So the Masons deal with a lot of great principles, man. People should get into it. And there's a lot of great people that's Masons. Yeah. And one of the reasons why they keep it a secret, because they don't want to indulge everything to everybody, because then everybody gonna be knocking on their door wanting to be a Mason. And you can't make everybody a Mason, because if you bring a bunch of people in, somebody's gonna mess up. You see? So Masonry is not secret. It's just people don't know how to get into the order. That's why they tell you, like, you got to get a sponsorship. You know what I'm saying?
Don't just let anybody in. Yeah.
Yeah, they don't just let anybody in. You got to get a sponsorship, or you got to seek out a traveling man, and then he'll sponsor you and bring you into the lodge. Basically,
let me ask you this though, because here's that whole thing about the knowledge is only for a few, and only a few initiated can have the knowledge. There's that part there because the knowledge should be protective. It's almost like the you know what I'm saying, the book of Eli. Like whoever has this knowledge of this book, they have power, right? So that should be protective. You don't want evil people getting a hold of that. You don't want people who are just going to be destructive with that knowledge. But then here we come putting it in our music. We're putting like ancient Masonic knowledge in the music and different Kemetic knowledge and ancient mysticism in the music for everybody, and it draws people. Is that a good thing that we're doing? Because it's almost like you're privileged to this information. Keep it to yourself. Don't share it with the people.
I think it's a process, man. You know, you don't want to cast jewels to swine.
Yeah,
you feel. And that's what happened through the ages. You know, it happened in Egypt. It happened everywhere. You know what I'm saying? It's happening today. You want to be able to keep a certain amount of things in order, because if you just thrust it out there, somebody's going to take it and ruin it, ruin the real true message. And that's what happened kind of with Masonry. You know what I'm saying, man? It got a bad look.
Yeah.
You know, man, you know, and
what happened with Christianity, man? You know?
Christianity got a bad look.
Yeah.
Islam, look at Islam today.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucked up, ain't it?
Mm-hmm.
You know, got a bad look.
But it ain't the truth, yeah.
Nah, you know, and you know, Muhammad, there's a surah or ayah in the Quran where Muhammad talks about these Arabs, that what they doing right now. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, they themselves don't even really, they just use it for political means.
Just like the Jews over there in Israel.
Exactly.
Same thing. Them make the real Jews. You know what I'm saying?
You're going to use the word of God. You're going to use it's the so-called word of God for political means.
Yeah.
That's just, I don't get it.
They don't understand it. Yeah.
I don't understand it. I mean, it's the same thing with you know, I'm talking about the Muslims, the Christians too. All of them do it. The Jews do it.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, if we were to talk to the Prime Minister of Israel, he'd say, yeah, Rasul, truth seeker, okay. You know, we're going to go have dinner. You guys got to go, man. You guys are causing too much trouble. You ask too many questions. You know what I'm saying? So you know, you know, I respect religious people, man. I don't try to discriminate against anyone. You know, I like talking to religious people. It's a good conversation. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, the stuff that's going on today, and it's just crazy, man. It's been going on for the last 6,000 years. And, you know, eventually it's going to change, man. You've seen that eclipse, right? We're about to have another one in the next 3 years. It's a crisscross. One came from over, and then there's another one is going to come straight. It actually might come through Alabama, dog. Huh. It might come through. I think the next eclipse is going to cross the East Coast. Wow! And it's going to cross down through Tennessee, and y'all might be able to see it.
Oh, like
really see it though.
Yeah, no, it was. I had some friends who it went pitch black, man. Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah, and then the crickets, man, confused the crickets, and all the bugs and stuff came out.
Yeah, you know what's funny? I walked outside the fucking because I'm here in Georgia. I was here in Georgia when that happened, and man, I'm not gonna lie to you. Look, I walked outside, Derek, man, and it got real dim. It didn't get totally dark, but it was dark. And you couldn't hear a sound.
Yeah, that was weird.
And you couldn't hear nothing. I couldn't hear any birds chirping.
Wind.
No wind.
Yeah.
Nothing. It was so fucking weird. In fact, it wasn't even. I looked up the block and it wasn't even nobody outside. It was real creepy, man. Yeah. It was real creepy, yo.
It was creepy. Yeah.
It was creepy, you know.
One of the things that Dr. Malachi York talked about that always stood out to me, I thought it was beautiful. He talked about making contact with angelic or alien beings, right? These or ourselves from, you know what I'm saying, from another lifetime. Avatars, and people are like scared of them. They're scared of the little gray beings that would maybe show up in their house in the middle of the night or something, right? And he talked about how they have the ability to show up in the form that you can accept, like that, like if you ask them or whatever. And so these angelic avatars and beings could show up as the little gray if you're okay with that, or they can show up as a beautiful white woman, or they can look like Jesus or like a black Jesus, like whatever, like that's how they approach you and appear to you. Have you ever had any encounters with anything like that?
I have to say, man, I've never had any type of real spiritual, contact or any vision or anything. I'm pretty sure you probably have. I don't know, man. I've always thought, like, how come I don't get visited?
That's the weird thing, man, because I've spent hours under the stars, man, and it takes a long time, but I've seen UFOs and I've seen things. Have you ever seen
I've seen UFOs. I've seen UFOs. I actually seen UFO with Killer Priest.
Oh, yeah.
One time. Me and Killer Priest, and it was Hellraiser from Sons of Man.
Yeah.
And I think Prodigal Son was with us, and this sister by the name of Makiba Mooncycle. I don't know. Anyway, we were in Brooklyn, and we were walking, we was in Crown Heights, and we were looking up, man, and we seen, of course, Killer Priest pointed it out. We were actually just kind of staring up. I don't even know what we were doing. We were talking, we were building about something, and we were looking at the stars. And Killer Priest had pointed out something that was weird, and we actually watched the UFO in New York City. So I've actually seen UFOs before. Yes, I've seen UFOs also on the land too in Tamaray. Like, all looking up. I never told anybody this. The brothers and sisters from the tribe say, Rasul said, this is I never shared this, but I actually seen one time I was on the land. I was just kind of walking, and it was because when on the land you could see all the stars.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm saying it was in a rural part of Georgia, so I'm pretty sure you guys out there in Alabama could see the stars too. So yeah, man, I've seen UFOs before. I can confirm that.
What is there's another word that's used for UFOs, and I think this comes from the Book of Enki. I'm not really sure, but you guys use it in your music a little bit. You talk about shams.
The shams.
Waiting for the shams to land. Where does that term come from, talking about UFOs?
That was a term from the M gear, or another word for a moving vessel or something that's a
chariot.
Kind of like that, yeah.
Like the chariots of fire in the Bible. Yeah.
Another way of explaining it in that way, in that ancient language. And the master teacher would kind of build on it and add a more of a scientific or metaphysical understanding of that. And he said that the shams are shaped like that, but they were called cylinder seals. Cylinder-shaped seals.
Yeah.
I don't know if you
I've seen those. I've seen those, yeah.
Right. They're kind of like
a cigar shape is what they call it.
Right.
Cigar shape.
Right. And the master, he would expound and build on that. So it's kind of another way from the M-gear or Sumerian approach for UFO. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I'm not saying that's what it translates as.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is he was making equivalent, making something that was, you know what I'm saying? Like making like a cross reference for like for instance, they say chariots of fire in the
Bible,
in the Bible. So in the Quran, they said Baruch. Muhammad flew across the desert and on a Baruch. And the Baruch was a flying donkey with wings. So
yeah, it's something that you use to travel.
I never, as a kid, I'm just letting everybody out there who's listening to this. I never accepted that. I've always thought, and I would challenge the Imam about that. When we actually discussed about Muhammad going to Jerusalem, flying across the desert on that. And I said, I'm 16, 15, arrogant, and I'm like, it has to be a UFO. So, you're going to tell me he flew across that on a donkey? Was it physical? What kind of species was the donkey? You know what I'm saying? Because, Alex Jones is talking about the Chimeras, right? They crossbreeding animals and stuff.
Yeah, Chimeras, Chimera.
Yeah, I said it right, Chimeras, right? So that could be true. But let's deal with it though.
Yeah.
That was 1,400 years ago.
Yeah, that's the same thing with the Bible. Yeah,
exactly. So what people do, like Eric Von Daniken and all of them, they apply, Graham Hancock and those guys. They'll apply that, take scientific information and try to say, well, it had to be a craft.
Yeah.
Which is nothing wrong with that. You can't just tell people it's a flying donkey.
Yeah, well, it's just like if we're looking in the Bible and it's talking about chariots of fire, but that's the word we read in English. You break it down, you get the word Merkaba or Merkaba, and it just means a vehicle. The word chariot is vehicle, so it's like I seen a fiery vehicle. It's not an actual chariot with horses and stuff pulling it. You know what I'm saying? But for some reason, it's translated that way. We got to go back to the original languages to break it down.
Yeah, yeah. But even when you go and start going into the languages and stuff like that, it still gives you like a void there. It doesn't necessarily give you a real translation.
Yeah.
It's almost just like reading the Quran, the Torah, or the Bible, and it's still all allegorical.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there's a huge part of that. But then we're like, it's like if you was to show up in that time period with an iPhone or an Android, hey, look, like, dude, if you was to show up in 1994 with an iPhone and say, hey, bro, you can watch any episode of the Ninja Turtles you want. What? You can watch any music video, and like, there's all this information in this phone or on your television. That was like a dream for a kid. But go back thousands of years with that and show it up. These people are doing their best to explain this aerial phenomenon and these stars moving and I mean, the seers of the Old Testament prophets, they were stargazers, man. They hung out. They like bred children to stargaze. Like when they were born, they couldn't come outside and they couldn't be around bright light so that they could see the stars better at night. This total different culture than to actually what we have now, and we try to read that stuff and interpret it for like westernized Christianity or Islam or whatever the case is, and it's totally not what we have today.
No, it's not. You would think, the funny thing about it is, like, you would think that they would, the Islamic community and the Christian community would probe into these kinds of understandings to give a real explanation on what, what we're reading.
Yeah.
Because I've always said, I tell this to everybody, I say, we learned the Quran, right? We learn how to read the Quran, right? But they tell you in the madrasas, right? In the schools, they tell you that you'll never be able to understand the Quran. So if we're never going to understand it, why are we memorizing it? What's the point of memorizing all of this stuff? You know what I'm saying? And we're never going to understand what it's saying. But the reality is, you can understand what it's saying. They just don't want you to probe out of. They don't want you to use your own mind. Mm-hmm. They want you to memorize it, and they want to control your understanding of, what I'm saying, of the text.
Yeah.
They don't want you to have an open mind about it. You know what I'm saying? So, it's a struggle. It's an institutionalized, thing with the Catholic Church and the Christian. I think the Catholics, man, they believe in UFOs. I think I ain't gonna lie to you, man.
They know what's up.
Yeah, they know what's up. They might be talking to them.
They definitely are, man. I think, yeah. I don't know if they're at war with other races, like to actually pinpoint it down of what's going on. Mm-hmm. It gets squirrely, but I know this: something is going on, and they know. Yeah. I could say that for sure. Something's out there.
Indeed.
Something's traveling off of our planet and traveling through the night skies and coming back and forth and all types of stuff. Did you see?
About 2 months ago, they had I think it was like a large object that came interstellarly out of nowhere and came through our solar system. I think it was a long.
Yeah, and it had something like following behind it. Was that when they tried to say it was a rocket? Is that the one you're talking about?
It kind of they was really saying it was a piece of a comet or a rock.
Okay.
That kind of came through, but it came through and just vanished into the and I mean stuff like that. We just don't simply know what they're doing up there, man.
Oh yeah.
And they're not really. Listen, man, I talked to my main man Cannabis, right? And Cannabis told me, because Cannabis is in the military, right? And he was in Afghanistan. He was a guy that dropped the convoy, dropped the homies off. They do what they do. They get back. He take them back. But he said what he would do is sometimes he would just lay in the desert and put UV goggles on.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever looked through UV goggles before.
I've seen video of it.
Yo, man, he told me, and he said, listen, Rasul, man, I don't know, man, but look, I've seen a lot of crazy stuff with them UV goggles. Because he said he would gaze into the stars with those UV goggles, and he said he would see all kinds of stuff. Because you could see with the UV goggles, you could see further. You could actually see.
Yeah.
Like, what I'm saying? And
you could see a lot more with just binoculars that you use in the mountains. I've got binoculars. When I was stargazing, I just used regular binoculars. Mm-hmm. And then I remember walking out on my porch and looking up and seeing the stars. holding the binoculars up. And then as soon as I looked up, seeing all kinds of stuff moving out there just with regular binoculars. Like, what is that?
Yeah.
It's not in a straight pattern. They're doing S formations through the
S4
sky.
formations and stuff like that.
Yeah, fleets of UFOs.
I advise everybody on this show, man, go down to Best Buy and get yourself a telescope, man, because telescopes is a beautiful thing. And if you're ever out there in Los Angeles, go up to the Griffin Observatory. They have a telescope up there, man. I was just looking at Jupiter last time I was out there. A lot of people haven't looked through a telescope before. If you go up to the average person, ask them, have you ever looked through a telescope? And they'll probably tell you, no, they never did it before.
Yeah.
So I advise everybody, man, because look, don't listen to me and Truth Seeker. You know what I'm saying? It's not about, you can listen to us, we'll give you a little information, but yo, man, trust me, man, if you guys start to do the stuff that we've done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Then we could really have some conversations, man.
I think that's why a lot of people's here, though. I think that they've had encounters, but they can't talk to nobody about it.
Exactly.
They've seen ships and they've seen the videos. There's people who actually have those goggles, those night vision goggles. I think they're Generation 3 night vision goggles. And some people who have them, they'll hold cameras up to them and they'll film it. And they'll be following fleets. It looks like I remember Cosmic said something like, I seen like a flock of birds in a UFO formation soaring vibration or whatever, and it reminds me of seeing the birds in formation flying, and you could see night vision like out of the atmosphere, ships flying in a military like formation out of the atmosphere. Crazy.
Yeah. I mean, it's a funny thing. I've always thought this as well. I mean, look at the technology. Look how where technology is going from, let's say, the 40s, the 50s, the 60s to now. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, it's really over maybe 100-year span. Look where technology is at. It's creepy and it's beautiful at the same time. Yeah. It almost makes me think that the ancients had, some form of technology in the ancient past.
Yeah,
they had to have had, because if we have it, you feel what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. They had to have had something.
That's what a lot of people believe about, Lemuria and Atlantis and things like that.
Right.
Egypt, they had all this stuff.
Right, especially Egypt, man. I'm gonna tell you something. They still haven't dug up half of that stuff under the sand. They're still finding stuff. You hear about the cavity that they found in the Great Pyramid, right? In Khufu. Mm-hmm. You heard about that, right? Yep. Hopefully they don't. I don't really think that they're going to try to drill in there. I just don't want them to fuck the thing up. You know what I'm saying? But me and you ain't get over there yet, so.
Man, so bro, there's a lot. I have a lot more questions for you and a lot more I want to get into. I have to cut the show short today, man. We'll do it again. I'll have you on soon. And there's a bunch of people in the chat room who are just eating this up too. A lot of first-time listeners and stuff. So
let's do it today's Friday. Let's do it on Monday after the Super Bowl.
Let's do it, man. I see you repping already.
Who you rooting for, man? I hope you ain't rooting for the Patriots, man.
Man, I'm rooting for the Falcons, man. My boy Julio, boy.
Look, I'm here at ATL in Atlanta, and I always tell all the people out here, right? Because I said, listen, man, because I knew we beat the Falcons.
Yeah.
I said, listen, we're going to avenge you guys.
Yeah.
We're going to avenge the Falcon. The Eagle is going to avenge the. And we're going to beat the Patriots for y'all, man.
Speaking of the Falcon, really quick, talk about your last album and promote it where people can go and check out your music and stuff, too.
I got the Rasul, the Face of the Golden Falcon, Rise of the Shimsu Horror, featuring Cannabis, Lost Children of Babylon, Judah Priest. I think that's it. And that's it. And you can go to chambermusic.com, or you can also go to tricegreat.com. And get it. But yeah, chambermusic.com is the place you want to go get that. And or just go to our website. All right. Yeah.
Appreciate you coming on, man.
Well, iTunes too. You can also get it off iTunes.
Spotify, iTunes. It's on everything. Type in LCOB, The Lost Children of Babylon, or Rasul Allah 7. You guys can check that stuff out. And obviously, I've been working with Rasul for a couple years. He's been on every album that I've done. So make sure you guys check that stuff out. You're on Watchman's album. We think you're on a track on that.
Yep.
We just did that. We just put that out.
Video for that, man. I got to come out there. You could just come out to Atlanta and film me or whatever. I don't know. We got to just figure it out somehow.
We got to make something happen, because for anything to go viral, you got to do a video behind it now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, all right, so appreciate you, my brother. We'll do it again soon.
All right, peace.
All right, shalom.
Your way so much higher than mine, so much higher than mine. So much deeper than mine, so much deeper than mine.
Well, that does it for this episode, folks. To hear more episodes of the Truth Seeker podcast, head over to truthseeker.com. And if you're wanting to support the show and get rewards, go to our Patreon page at patreon.com/truthseeker.